Have you not had a class with your mom?
No.
Is that common?
Your mom teaches here.
Hello.
Let's go. Hello.
Today, welcome back to the Horizon Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about teachers and coaches and the way they've impacted our lives in negative or positive ways, and just like stories, fun or not.
I have one where I almost died. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We did swimming in middle school, and I can't swim, not even to this day. And I was good at doing the laps because you could grab onto the edge. But the final, no joke, but the final exam was you had to tread water for 5 minutes, just like in the deep end. I was like 5 feet tall, like in middle school. So I go up to the teacher and I said, and I've always been like a really like upfront like kid. I was like, if you make me do this, be prepared to like save me. Like this is like straight up what I told him. And he was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I literally cannot tread water. And he was like, this sucks for you. Give it a shot. And I was like, man, I'm going to try it.
You warned him.
I mean, literally.
You warned him.
So it was like 3, 2, 1, you jump in. I jump in 15 seconds. I'm already like in that level.
You're just chilling on the bottom of the pool.
Well,
Percy Jackson style.
Well, what freaked me out was as you're going lower, because you're more focused on staying afloat, I'm not making a beeline to like the edge to like pull myself out. And my buddy like saw that, and he was like a diver. So like he can swim, and he like basically like saved me and got me to the edge. And as I'm going up the ladder, he's doing this. The coach, he goes,
Unbelievable.
and I failed it. Straight up fail. I made it 15. Everyone else, here's what got me. Everyone else passed. Everyone made it with like minutes to spare. I failed horribly.
That's terrible.
I had a coach put me in physical danger one time.
What kind of coach?
Football coach.
That makes
He
sense.
broke my arm.
Wow.
Yeah.
You were that bad at football?
No, we were doing bear crawls.
Oh,
I know
And
your
this
mom
guy-
was mad.
This guy thought it was a good idea to take a pad and smack down on everybody's backs while we're bear crawling. And we're like at 9 years old. Like it's a little intense to be doing this.
Yeah.
And he broke my arm. And
Okay.
I'm not joking. My arm was like in a U. Like it was like very visibly broken. He let me go to the side because I was crying my eyes out.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was something just came over me. And he moved the drill and kept going with practice. Didn't stop practice. Didn't do anything.
No ambulance.
What did your mom do when she heard this?
It's funny you ask. That is the first football practice my mom ever missed, and it was the last she ever missed.
Oh,
My
Okay,
dad
you
was
played
there.
again?
Why would she let you
Yeah.
play?
I played again, and then I broke my collarbone and my
Oh.
rotator cuff.
wow.
So you were
So then you
But I'm back, baby.
never played again.
Then I never played again,
Okay.
and then I picked
You
up
were
drums.
really bad at football.
I was a lineman.
Okay, guys.
Yes.
I have one. So a positive impact that I had, I would say, was when I was in middle school. It was like my 7th grade year, and all the kids would joke on me because I would walk like this, like one of my shoulders were higher than the other. And my teacher, well, my counselor, he like kind of pulled me to the side, and he was like, "Hey, did you know you always walk like one of your shoulders higher than the other?" He's like, "I don't know if you're doing that on purpose because of your backpack, and you just have like one strap." But he was like, I think he was like walking a straight line, and then he ended up telling my mom, and I ended up getting evaluated, and I found out I had scoliosis. So I'm glad I found out about it at a really young age. That way I could like work on it until I got older.
I was gonna say, did you play basketball?
Yes, I
So
played.
that's a thing with basketball players. My
Yeah.
brother had it. His bone structure and his muscle structure are totally different in each shoulder. So it's
Yeah.
like forced him into scoliosis. Like if you look at like a picture of LeBron James, both of his shoulders
Yeah.
sit at different levels and they're like different sizes.
Whenever I took my graduation pictures, I was like this. I was like, oh my gosh, I do not like these.
I have a negative teacher story. So this is actually a substitute teacher. So she would just substitute for any teacher that was absent.
Was she a regular?
Yeah. Well, she used to be. Not anymore.
Well, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was
After she broke his.
at our school, at my high school, we had a sub that would come in
Mhm.
almost every time.
She would only come in like if she was needed. Like she wouldn't be there.
Yeah. But when there was a sub, it was her most of the time.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So she was there. I didn't see this happen, but my cousin saw it happen. I noticed that the substitute teacher just stopped showing up. She just wasn't substituting anymore. And I later found out she got fired. And here's what happened. So this was an older woman. She was one of the meanest people you could ever meet. Like,
Wow.
she was not nice at all. She did not like kids. So she
She's
had
like
no-
Miss Trunchable.
Oh, trying to blackmail someone. But yeah, she did not like kids. It was very obvious. But apparently, there were these girls talking, and when they were lined up in the hallway, and she told them to stop talking. Well, obviously, they didn't because I think they were fourth graders. I think they were fourth graders. So what she does, she grabs one of the girls by her hair and pulls her to the front of the line to stop talking, and she got fired for doing that.
Wow.
I had a gym teacher at my middle
What?
school.
Go ahead. That unlocked something in
And
me.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were
she,
doing like a sarcastic, like, no.
she also got physical with students, and they offered her resignation, and she took it. But otherwise, she was going to be fired because she put her hands on students.
That's
What just got unlocked?
I know we all have a bad gym teacher.
No, I always had great gym teachers.
Yeah.
This is where that's not true.
Yeah, we had a couple.
Middle school was weird.
Yeah, the
but-
woman I was just talking about was
Yeah.
a gym teacher.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You unlocked something in me.
What was unlocked?
I got my elementary school art teacher fired.
Oh,
Really?
How?
Yes.
What did you do?
Yes.
You did that?
you did that?
Who are you thinking?
Curly-headed woman?
Yes.
Oh my god!
Yes.
Kelly.
Did you both go to the same?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
we went
Do you guys go to the
school.
same high school too?
Yeah.
For like
Wow.
a year.
So you guys been
Or
knowing
two.
each other your whole life?
No,
No.
but we just
Oh.
went to the same school our whole life. He's
Grade
older than
above.
me.
But it was a similar thing where I wasn't talking. I had a very talkative class and I was not talkative. And we're filing into line, and this woman was the grumpiest
I can test.
old woman. Just
she
hated
wore-
her life.
She
It felt
wore
like
earrings made out of like real potatoes and like peppers and stuff. Like she was a strange woman.
she was an art
too.
teacher. Picture an old art teacher, and that's who.
Drip. That's just disgusting.
But
That's
We-
It takes art to.
Allegedly, her
A little
hair's not
too
real
serious.
either. Her hair was
Wow.
not real. But
Wow.
Continue.
so
Drag this woman.
yeah, we're filing. Oh, it's about to get worse.
Your
We're-
earrings sucked in your hair. Isn't
We're
real.
filing into this into our class, and we had to be quiet when we entered the room. And I'm not talking, and there is a certain individual that I still know to this day that you probably also know, who was talking, passed into the room ahead of me. So she turned around to me and thought it was me, and she goes, "Are you R-worded or something?" And I was just like, "No, I'm just here." So I walked in, and I went to the office later. Like, she sent me to the office once we got into class, and I was like, I didn't even do anything.
I don't know what happened.
One, even if I did something, that's not how you should handle it with a kid.
No.
No, you don't.
But-
call it that.
Yeah, and then after that, the next couple classes after that, I was the class saint. Like, yes, Jordan, you can go to the bathroom.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. And
Yeah.
then about a month later, new teacher rolled in.
Yes.
Wow.
Jordan was King Parade.
Oh, wow.
Which was
Like,
which
yeah.
was the principal's wife also. So she was
Oh.
like,
Oh no, we're not talking about the same person then.
yes, we are. I'm talking about the replacement.
Oh,
teacher.
got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That reminds me of my 8th grade reading teacher.
I had a bad English teacher too. Dang.
So it was like one day in class and I didn't understand something. So like I walked up to her and I asked her like, "Hey, I need help with this." And she told me sit down and wait. So I sat down and wait. And I like mumbled something underneath my breath. I don't remember, but she told my mom that I called her like the B word or whatever. So my mom put me on punishment for like 3 months.
Did you though?
No, I
Okay.
really
I'm
did.
just saying.
Like that's not even in my character. Like, and so whenever my mom apologized to me, like I want to say like last year, and she was like, "I'm so sorry for grounding you in like 8th grade or whatever." And turns out the teacher like ran over a kid and kept going, and now she's in jail and stuff. And
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Dang.
so my mom was like, I'm sorry. She's like, I believe you now.
Wow.
And she really did not believe me. Like, I was telling my grandma, I was like, Grandma, I like wouldn't do anything like that. Like, they did not believe me.
Wow.
Because she's older, so of course they're gonna believe the teacher. So Yeah.
The substitute teacher, and you're right. I had a substitute teacher in 8th grade, and as she was doing roll call, it's like one of the opposite of what you had. It was like a new person that didn't come around, and she was Josh Breeden, and I go, here. She goes, you have a really cool last name. And as I'm like going up to say thank you, she goes, yeah, cool last name for porn.
Oh,
How old are you?
However old you are in 8th grade.
yeah, like 13.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
like
Mine was 14.
I'm sitting next to my friends, and they're like, what? And I was like, thank you. Like, I didn't know what to say. And then like that's like the one thing that like pops out from. I mean,
Oh my god.
Yeah.
hey, I mean, I'll,
Oh,
Some
that's
substitute
pretty
teachers are
bad.
just
Okay.
like
I'll take a
Yeah.
compliment.
Yeah.
I
you know?
had my 8th grade English teacher.
At Silver Creek.
Yes. She no longer works there.
What does her name start with?
P.
Same.
She
Same story.
so I don't know, like I don't know how wrong this is to talk about, but this is just my feelings towards it, and I saw it even in 8th grade at 13. She was in love with little boys, I promise.
Swear.
She was in love with little boys.
Except
Every single
Yeah.
swear. Every
She
single
bullied me.
She bullied
Probably
lots of
bullied
people.
you
She bullied
because
me
she-
too. Because if you ever got a laugh out, she didn't of the class, she didn't like you.
Oh.
You were her new op. Anyway,
You were her new up.
at awards day,
Me.
at awards day, you remember where they'd go up at the end of the
Yeah.
ceremony, perfect attendance. Not a single female got an award from her. It was every athlete, little boy on the basketball team. You're sick.
Yeah.
Sick and twisted.
Yeah.
Sick and twisted. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm
She.
glad I wasn't. Okay.
So we.
My parents also thought so.
In her class, we had to do like the reading log stuff,
Mhm.
and we had to do like these. Keep in mind, I was probably 8th grade, so it was
12, 13.
it was awkward, an awkward time in my life. I was not nearly as outspoken as I am now, so it was like kept to myself. Like I'll crack a joke here and there, but I'm not going up and giving a presentation or
Right.
talking in front of a class. It's not happening. And I told her this. I was like, we had to give a book report over something we had read, and I was like, I'm unable to get up in front of the class and do this. Like I will
Freak
have
out.
I'll have to go somewhere else.
Mhm.
And I was like, I can give it to you, right now, like and prove to you I read it. And she was like, if you do that, you can do it for half credit.
Half credit.
Yeah,
And
I-
you're 13.
And I'm 13, expressing that I have a social anxiety, and your response is, you can have an F. No, I didn't even stand up. She called on me because she was like, you can do it for half credit. And I was like, okay. And she was like, I'm not going to let you. So then,
She's a liar on top of it.
yeah, right. So then I wish I was making this up. It sounds
Jordan,
crazy.
You didn't play basketball. You didn't play
I
football.
tried. I played football.
Well, I'm saying while you were in her
Wasn't very
class.
good at it.
I did.
Okay, then I don't know why you didn't. She didn't like you because she was in love with all those.
She was in
boys.
love with all
I didn't
It
run the
was
ball.
sick.
I was a lineman.
My chair, back of the room.
It
In
gets
front
worse.
of hers.
It gets worse. So she calls me up, and I'm just like, no. Like, I think this was a formative moment in my brain where I was like, I'm going to just stop being like whatever this is.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm not going up. And she was like,
Free will.
come up. And I was like, I started to get up, and I could feel myself shake.
Yeah.
And like that thing where you like well up.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't do it. So I sat down, and I just started bawling in class. But I sat there, and I was just like, I hate you. Like, you are just an evil person.
Stand
I
on
took-
that.
I took an
to
F.
say.
That's kind of vindictive.
And then
Took the F?
I took the F, and then I wrote in all my book reports, and she accepted them for half credit.
Wow.
So you did every
They
single
still
one of them
passed.
for half credit?
Mhm.
Wow.
So did you guys go to Silver Creek?
Yeah.
Oh god, that
Can you
explains a
tell?
lot. Yeah. that explains it.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
say I did have one. I feel like I'm talking a lot. I'll get this
I
out of the
had
way.
one good English teacher in middle school.
I had one good music teacher, and he put me on a really good path with music. Mr. Smith.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only person I'm going to give by name because he's
Mhm.
one of the coolest people I've ever met. But I was not very good at trumpet, and I played trumpet in 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, and then my freshman year. And in freshman year, we had to take like really extensive tests where we had to learn. So there's 12 major and minor scales. So there's 24 scales. We had to learn for one semester all 12, go into his office privately, and he would give us 3 to perform.
Okay.
So you had to know all 12.
Mhm.
I faked my way all the way.
Right.
Like by 7th grade, I had quit playing trumpet. Like it was just,
Exact same thing.
yeah. And we go into his office and I butcher all 3. And he was like, I'm really disappointed in you.
Ooh.
And I was like, ooh. He was like, what do you want to do? I might cry. He goes, what do you want to do? And I was like, I want to play drums. And he was like, then go play drums. Like, quit sitting here and
Doing something
Yeah.
you have no interest
and
in.
wasting your
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But he's a goat.
Yeah.
I
Lancaster
had-
are brutal. They're
They're the
suck.
worst.
Yeah.
And freshman year, it went from like middle school, it was whoever was the best was first trumpet. Like that's how we did it. It
Uh-huh.
was like you got first part. So my entire middle school career, I was third, second at the
Mhm.
best, third or second trumpet. And we get to high school and he didn't like that because he was still over the program, but it was a different director.
Mhm.
And he started just randomly mixing them up. So for this song, you're third trumpet, but the next one,
Yeah.
you're 1st. And
Mhm.
it was like, uh-oh. So I had a buddy and we both were just like, we are so screwed. Like we've got solos and it's so bad.
We in marching band, I did it in middle school, and I was good with music sheets because you could read it, but I couldn't memorize it. We did practice when I got to high school for marching band twice a week and did like 20 performances along with warm-ups. Never played a note.
That's how I felt when I played the flute.
It was
Oh.
so
Like
bad.
my head would hurt so bad by the time I'm blowing all the air out. I'll be like,
Flute is like very like breath circuit. Like that's
Yes.
tough instrument. Yeah.
yes.
The next story I was going to talk about was in 6th grade. My English teacher at the end of the year did like class superlatives on her own. Like the yearbook does and all that, but she did her own. And she started handing them out, and it was like, class clown, best dress, whatever. Each time I was like, waiting for me.
Most likely to host a radio show.
And then she says, best poker face. And everyone looks at this one girl in our class because, like, clearly it's her. And I'm like, calls my name. Keep in mind, I'm in 6th grade. That is basically giving a 6th grade award for resting bitch face. Like, and I accepted at the age of 21. At 12, I was not ready for that.
Can you-
I was not. My dad marched right into her.
Really?
Oh,
Really?
so fast. The next class she came in, apologized, gave me a new award. Because I went out in the hallway and like
For RBF?
Yes! Because I literally went in the hallway and like cried and stuff because everyone was getting like the best friends award and mine was like best poker face. That is
Yeah.
so mean.
Can
Why
we-
would
It's
you
the least
do
amount of
that?
friends. Oh, it's
So wait, what does poker face mean? Does
Like-
that mean like
RBF.
In that
Yeah.
context, it's like
Arresting.
two-faced.
Keep it
Like,
so
No, she meant an RBF.
I don't know.
She did.
Poker face?
Like,
I think
I hear
maybe
poker face and it's like I could lie to you and you
yeah.
wouldn't know.
oh.
I think
I
it's like you're like
don't think
unaffected. Like
so.
you like
Yeah.
something will happen. You're like okay.
I always think of that Lady Gaga song.
Yeah, that's what always makes me think of.
I don't know. All I know is I took
Face.
offense to it, and she also took a step back and said, "Ooh,
That's
that's
fair.
not right."
I think that's a reasonable crash out.
Yeah.
she might have realized that people can interpret that in different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
What if it's a
especially
Lady
child.
Gaga thing?
Well,
Yeah.
that's
It was
iconic,
not.
but at the same time,
You don't know.
I actually have a teacher
you know,
story.
it is iconic now
Yeah.
because I can tell a story about it.
There
But
you go.
in the moment, I did
Mhm.
cry.
Your dad should go back and apologize.
I would say
Yeah.
That kind of reminds me of a story that happened to me once. Because you said that your dad got on her about it, right?
Oh yeah. He did that a lot.
So there was one time I was in 1st grade and me and a friend of mine, I don't know what we were thinking, but we were watching these these kids beat up this girl for some reason. I don't know what we were thinking, but we were just watching. We were not doing anything. We were just watching.
I'm sorry.
How does-
but
We didn't
It doesn't help your case. Dog.
we were just watching.
I
Just
don't,
admiring the view.
We set up our tripods. I mean, we just didn't know what to do.
it's like, oh, I'm gonna put
How
this
old
on
were you?
Facebook. I was
16.
7.
Last week.
Oh.
Yeah, never mind.
You were 7? Okay.
Wait,
I was
and
7 years
They
old.
were other 7-year-olds.
They were younger.
Younger.
They're like kindergartners.
Yeah, they were kindergartners.
You didn't
You're
stop it?
all-
No, they were kindergartners beating up a first grader, but the teacher ended up punishing me and my friend, even though we didn't do anything.
Well,
It's because you guys were bystanders.
There's a problem out here.
they
But-
punished you because you didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
'Cause
she,
you
no,
didn't say
here's the thing. She
anything.
didn't even. No, we did say something. We
Get him!
No, here's the thing that we were standing in a view to where she couldn't see us, but then everyone went over to her, and then she shouted at both of us to go over to her, and we were both like, we didn't do anything, and she was like, I don't care, and so she ended up punishing us for it.
Wow.
My dad came in the next day, full on ripped into her for punishing me, even though we didn't do anything,
Then beat up
and
his-
he managed to scare every single teacher in there because of that.
Wow.
Because my dad's like pretty big and muscular, so every teacher got scared of him for that.
Wow.
And-
I would say though,
They also don't have his sense of humor, so they don't like him. Also,
threatening at teachers.
no,
You better laugh at this. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, I would say that I feel like professors have a more impact on my life than teachers
I agree.
in middle school and high school because it just seemed like they were just there for the job.
Well, and half of my teachers in high school just sat there and said, you're not gonna thrive in college.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be good. Like it's
Yeah.
gonna be terrible.
I feel like they base you off like
I've
how
done-
you are
no,
when
I've
you're
done- I
younger.
did so poorly in high school compared to how I do in college.
Same.
Wow.
Well, I like-
I had an opposite experience.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah,
so
I-
did I. So do
Like,
I.
I hated high school. It was
I
the worst
had,
experience of my life.
My band director and my theater director, they were married. They're a couple. And so I was with them the entirety of high school, you know, like I had them for class and then I would go like to their rehearsals for like 3 hours, 5 days a week, you know, and I like built like a really strong relationship with them and they like impacted my music career so much.
Yeah.
They really broke me out of my shell. Like back, I'm going to say like middle school era, like I joined dance team, like that broke me out a little bit more, but the way I am today is because of like their like coaching because they like
Right.
taught me to like be kind of like confident, you know, fake it till you make it kind of thing. And I wouldn't be here where I am without them.
I feel like those types of people are people who are genuinely passionate about what
Yeah.
they do. And
Yeah.
like
That's,
teachers that I've never had a good experience with a teacher who's just like looking for something new almost.
Yeah.
I feel like I always did a good job of weeding out the people that weren't passionate about believing
Yes.
in me or themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to listen to you if you don't even believe what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's like how
Exactly.
could I take advice from you? Look at the predicament
Right.
you're in.
Like I had a teacher that taught like economics, and the whole time she was talking about that she was working to be a counselor or something. I
Right.
was like,
You're
you're
in the
not
wrong
even
place.
gonna teach us.
Yeah.
Keep in mind,
Tell
she
me
was
how to do
teaching
my
me-
taxes,
She
please.
was side note, she was not American, and she was like not freshly, but she was just not from
Hey.
America.
Maybe she was really
Where was
studied
she
up on
from?
American economics.
I'm
and
not
for
gonna
her
get
citizenship.
that. I'm
Whenever
not gonna profile that hard.
I went to Clarksville, so
So she could
ugh,
she'd be very studied.
that
Oh, y'all were cheaters in football.
uh,
I played against like grown men as a 9-year-old one time. I'm still mad about that. Y'all, they had tattoos, and they were allowed to wear their necklaces while they played.
yeah. Clarksville was very lenient, but we always had new teachers. It was always like a tragic town story happening. Like I think the gym teacher, he was like texting a high schooler, and it was like pointing out. It was just always something crazy, and the whole school's talking about it. So
Yeah, Clarksville. One of the Clarksville football players broke my quarterback's neck.
wow.
Yeah.
Because the coaches, they would literally hire new coaches every year. So, and they weren't good. they were,
And my buddy.
Oh, really?
hmm He didn't break his neck. He hurt his hips or back or something.
No.
I was like, wait, what?
Nope.
I really got my buddy Porter. I can almost hear him.
It's like
I've
all
never
of our
touched football in
coaches
my life.
were in school suspension teachers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we had a lot of coaches that just like taught at the school just so they can like be on the.
I
yeah.
had a math
And-
teacher that was like the 8th grade football coach. So he came in like at the beginning of the year because we had this one lady and we needed to replace the 6th grade math teacher. So she moved down. We were like, yes, because we did not like her. You know, she typical math teacher,
Yeah.
right? This guy comes up and he's the football coach and he starts teaching us and we're like trying to learn like slope, okay, and we didn't do anything that year. Like I'm telling you, we sat there in that class and kind of just like talked the entire time. And then when it came to I-step, the entire 8th grade like failed the math portion.
Yeah. That's how it was. For my class as well. Nobody passed I-step.
My 8th grade year, we
I-
also had
Nobody
a math
passed
teacher
I-step.
That was
Yeah.
also
Your 8th grade?
my 8th grade year.
Was it start with an H? Hang on.
No.
Or J?
Yes.
Yeah.
He got fired eventually.
Really?
Yes, he did. And moved to Floyd Central. Yay!
Oh.
Wait, hold on.
Why did he get fired?
Jay.
Probably for any reason.
There was
Right.
lots of reasons. I think he actually got offered
Wait, what?
to
Last
resign.
name or first
So in other
what
words, he got fired.
subject did he teach?
Math.
name?
I think
8th
this was
grade
way
math.
past your time. He got. I mean,
I mean,
he
you're
was-
like 2 years older.
Yeah, I
than me.
graduated.
And he left
in
after. Like,
2020.
I still had him at
So that
Silver
was
Creek, you know.
2021.
So it was way.
You would have
past.
probably been a junior.
Okay.
So I've been a sophomore.
And plus, I think he went to middle school. No, he went to high school. Anyways,
I'm sure he did. If
Um,
he was a teacher later.
we kept a notebook of how many times this man would say or and
Teacher.
some classes we
Uh.
got stop
Um,
in one
yeah.
class we got up to like
He's
500
been there for so long.
Whoa.
One class.
one class,
There's
and
no one.
he would scream at our class and be like, look at these average class scores, and it'd be like a 47%.
Like
Why do you think the
Yeah.
average score on a test is a 47? That's not my fault. I
Mm-mm.
hate to be the one to tell you.
yeah.
On the contrary, I always really liked math. I did have him, but yeah, right.
But
But
if you were good at math, you probably were able to like
I-
push past. it.
anytime
I
I
was
was in a
not.
math class, I
I
was
was not.
almost just like the teacher, like just the tutor. Like everybody was like, "Hey, help me."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Sure."
I always
Right.
love people like you, so
Yeah.
I'm sure someone else is thinking
But
for you.
I was gonna shout out my favorite math teacher, Jeff Harrell. He used to teach at Henryville. He was in the Henryville Tornado. He was a really good math teacher. I don't know if there's something crazy. Keep it to yourself. He's a good math teacher. That's all I'll say.
What do you know?
Now
Did
she's
you
just
know
finishing
him?
up her Ivy.
Wow.
How do you know all that?
Meredith keeps
like
keeps
wait-
up, man.
I don't think right
Just
now. I'm
stays in
saying
the
while
loop.
I was.
Meredith Monday, man.
I thought you had like a spreadsheet or something.
It is Meredith Monday.
Tracking people.
Let me talk about my I don't even know if I should say what age. One of my cheer coaches. She hated me. Like she literally wanted me dead, I swear.
Are you bad at cheerleading?
I fear I cheered at the University of Louisville. I'm gonna say that I was not bad. Here to say that.
Wow.
Just saying.
Just saying.
There's always a worse person on the squad.
You did. I'm kidding.
Anyway.
No one got it.
I got it.
Anyways,
Good
this
job
woman
carrying the
literally
day,
like she just cared about like who was the most relevant person at the school. Like whoever got like nominated for the most stuff, she would put them like
So the best
above
people.
everyone.
Yeah, that's how some of
No.
my high school football
Popularity.
coaches were.
Yeah, they were exactly like that. I know who you're talking about. So yeah.
You know who is a really
Like-
cool teacher we didn't talk about?
Who?
Ron Allman.
Exactly.
Oh, yes.
Same there.
Yay!
He's the best of the best.
Oh, no camera. He did this, guys.
Oh. I had him for all
I
4
do-
years.
I do have another story about a teacher getting fired from my elementary school. It was a 3rd grade teacher. I never had her, but my sister had her. This was her first year teaching, and she got fired her first year she was teaching. But the reason why is because apparently during the last few days, actually, let me backtrack a little bit. First off, during it was 9/11, so the day 9/11 came around, she decided to show the third graders videos of the planes crashing into the twin towers.
Yeah, this may be a little
my
too
God.
young.
Uh,
I mean,
I had a teacher show us the
I'm,
JFK.
I'm all
footage.
for I'm all for objective learning, but that's
Yeah.
you know
And,
we're not that young.
and on top of
Maybe
that,
stick with the models.
towards the end of the year, she didn't even bother teaching the students. She just let them play on their iPads while she just did her nails. And apparently, one kid almost fell out the window.
Wow.
Yeah, and this was on the second floor, might I add.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That reminded me of one of the best teachers I ever had.
Oh.
He threw me.
Yeah.
out.
Long story short, she got fired that year for doing that.
Yeah.
People are too soft.
There was two teachers at my elementary school that got fired after I was already out of elementary school, but my dad worked at the school corporation, so I had a little bit of the ins for a while. And they were having an affair via the school email.
Your dad?
No.
Wait. I know who this is.
It was a man and a woman teacher, and they were having an affair via email. Well, I'm sure
Damn.
past email, but that's how they caught them because it was on school email.
That's
What
so
would
what
they
lame.
do?
grade
Wait.
Oh my
teachers?
God.
That's such a lame way to get caught.
Was one a fifth grade teacher?
Yes.
The guy?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well,
I
yeah,
know who we're
obviously the
talking about.
guy. Well, not obviously, but it was a guy. I said not obviously. But it was a guy, and I said that at the start.
Can teachers not have an affair?
No, not
No.
on
It's
school
kinda like
email.
going
High school.
Not on school. Like,
Do you know what
Oh,
an
it's
affair
fifth grade.
is?
Yeah, I know what an affair is.
I was just making sure.
Yes, I know what. I'm
They
not
had
that.
one
I'm
in
not that
Kentucky
stupid.
I
every
mean,
year.
teachers can have relationships, but it's
Okay.
the fact that they were both cheating on their spouses.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
probably the
Oh,
problem.
Also
okay.
via
Okay,
email.
well,
Yeah,
it's, okay.
school
When you put that they
email,
both
too.
had
Which
spouses,
is
that paints
hilarious.
a
And I
school
think
picture.
email.
there was like more happening on school grounds that like.
Okay.
And-
there should be a
Okay.
law.
Silver Creek has a history of doing this. They offered them resignation. Yeah.
There should be a law that, well, I think it is a law if you cheat on your husband.
It should be illegal.
In
Yeah.
some states, you can be held financially
Yes.
accountable for cheating on your spouse, but
Oh,
like in
that'd
Kentucky?
just be so fun to be that
Wouldn't it?
petty. Just be like, all right.
just break your
Hey,
bank. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
it should be everywhere.
Yeah. So if you cheat on me, give me 10,000.
Yep.
I mean,
Go
no,
ahead,
give me
Go
everything.
ahead,
give me 250.
Give me everything.
Speaking of coaches, I had a dance coach. My first dance coach ever. She was amazing. Loved her. Then I had a second dance coach come in. And like the old coach was still like kind of coming in, like coaching a little bit, but it was like mainly that one lady. And she was like the most short temper. Like I cannot even begin to explain. Like one thing would set her off and she would make us run laps around the school. Then come back and she said, you have to do this palm routine full out 3 times back to back.
Yeah, my first year coach as a kid really. That could be like a full conversation itself. It was really bad for
Yeah.
my mental health,
Yeah.
especially because I hate to be this way, but I was more ahead of most of the people my age. So I was usually on teams with older kids. So she talked to the older kids. Like even though you shouldn't talk to, 15-year-olds like that, but it was
Yeah.
miserable.
Yeah,
and I
she-
had
She also taught, I want to say high school at the time too. So she was coaching both teams and I like stressed her out really bad. But she's like, dance and like the competitive like world like that is something that will drain you mentally and like you will have body issues for like the rest of your life because of that.
I had a coach that was like very much no BS policy. Like he was probably the best coach I ever had though.
Mhm.
He broke my leg.
No, he was a football coach. He was my 7th and 8th grade football coach.
Steel femur.
Right. Yeah, he was like, but we were the best football team in Southern Indiana, 7th and 8th grade. Like both years we didn't lose a game.
Was it a dad? I know
Yeah.
who you're talking
He's the
about.
best.
He was
He's the
sweet.
best coach. He's a cool dude. I won't put him on blast because like
Right.
people know him,
Strange.
but yeah, we outscored our opponents like 290 something points to like 13
Wow.
on 2
That's
seasons.
It's
crazy.
like 85
Like,
there.
Yeah,
It's like disrespectful.
literally. And like we
And
we
you're
didn't
11
put
and
the
12.
third string in. Like it was like we are sending these kids home.
Just injured.
Like it was, but like it taught work ethic. Like it was,
Yeah.
I don't know, as a young man, it was really good to have someone like that. Cause like, you know,
Mhm.
my parents
Were
didn't
y'all a
really,
theater school for Columbus East?
no,
Them boys were.
no.
But that's like such the
like a bunch of
difference
grown
between
adults.
like the
Yes.
arts and then the competitive world. Like after like leaving that, like I was like I like mentally cannot do this anymore. Like this is gonna send me to like a breakdown if I stay in this environment. I moved to the arts with like theater and band, and it like completely changed my outlook on everything. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, this stuff can actually be fun.
Yeah,
I think it's good to have both.
my
Mhm.
sister had that transition from cheer to theater too, and she loved it. And I've recently hung up my cheer shoes because it is too much, and I don't think that I could ever step foot on a mat ever again.
Mhm.
But like you took away, like I don't think
Absolutely.
I don't think I would work on what I work on as hard as I do if I didn't play football
Same.
or like
Mhm.
have to work for a starting spot or something like that.
Okay,
Yeah, but it's good to have good and bad teachers.
absolutely, and coaches. Well, okay, well that's it for
Bad
today.
teachers, no.
Thank you for joining us. Join us on Wednesday. It'll be great. Bye. I don't know why I do that.